This one's wife. Eternal victims caught out again. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The narcissist is the eternal victim. Why is this? You know from my work that the narcissist seeks four things. Usually subconsciously, but consciously, we're an aware narcissist. The vast majority of narcissists are unaware, and they, guided by that narcissism which operates as a background app, seek to control whoever is on the radar. If you're not on the radar, you don't exist, you don't matter. Fuel must also be obtained, and often character traits and residual benefits. In order to maintain control, the narcissist can never be at fault for anything. Because if the narcissist is to accept responsibility, to demonstrate accountability, that will adversely affect their ability to control. By showing accountability, by being liable for their actions, they are no longer with total control. Indeed, they are being controlled by something or someone else. Therefore, in order to maintain that total control and avoid being controlled, the narcissist cannot be accountable. And therefore that means the narcissist cannot be at fault. It therefore follows that somebody or something else must be at fault. And in order for that to be the case, the narcissist must be the victim of that person or circumstance. Thus, the necessity of control creates this victim mentality. Certain narcissists exhibit it far more than others. Middle mid-range, which is that of this one's wife, are particular with regard to their exhibition of victimhood. You'll see it in all narcissists, often with mid-range because they're particularly passive-aggressive, but you'll see it with lesser also. But it is amongst the middle mid-range where this one's wife belongs that you'll see this particular victim mentality. Alongside this victim mentality, we often see the fact that this one's wife is caught out in telling porky pies. This is because her narcissism operates through a distortion field, whereby it creates its own version of the truth to enable her to get to the prime aims. Because her narcissism operates in the moment, it isn't concerned with what was said last week, save to the extent that last week needs to be resurrected to control the now. And therefore, if last week this one's wife said that she was 43% Nigerian and this week decides that she's 43% Swedish, then that will be it. And if you point out the inconsistency to her, her initial response will be to deny that she ever said that she was 43% Nigerian, because denial is the first line of the twin lines of the narcissistic defense. The ability to compartmentalize, the fact that the narcissism operates in the moment without due regard to the past or the future, save where the past or the future is needed to control the now, and the absence of conscience or remorse or guilt, means that the truth is very much the flexible friend of the narcissist. We see it again as this one's wife has been caught out alongside this one. The Super Soraway Sun, through Sarah Grealish, reports Prince Harry and this one's wife's story in doubt again, as letters reveal Queen did want couple to have effective security. It throws Harry and this one's wife's narrative that they were cut off by the royal family into doubt. You'll recall, of course, that this one's wife wanted to ply the suggestion that she and this one were cut off because that would smear the royal family and maintain that she's the victim. And therefore, by maintaining that she and Harry were the victims, this would supposedly elicit sympathy, which provides her with fuel, and enables her to control the wider audience through that pity play. by smearing the royal family by suggesting that they're heartless lizard people that cut them off, would also mean that they would be indirectly controlled by people's condemnation of them. Boo, hiss, you heartless lizard people. How dare you cut off this fabulous couple who are living their best life? Leave them alone, you don't know them, Yal. Prince Harry and this one's wife's story has been thrown into doubt again, as letters have revealed the Queen did want them to have effective security. It comes as the Duke of Sussex told a court he was forced to leave his UK home as he waged a battle over his security. The Duke of Sussex is challenging the decision to downgrade his publicly funded security detail after he quit as a working royal in 2020. In a statement read out on his behalf in court, Harry said he felt forced to leave the United Kingdom after the security downgrade. But now, letters between the late Queen's most senior aide and the then Cabinet Secretary shown in court show how the monarch considered it imperative that they kept effective security. Sir Edward Young wrote to Sir Mark Sedwill explaining that keeping the Sussexes safe was of paramount importance to Her Majesty and her family. It throws Harry and this one's narrative that they were cut off by the royal family into doubt. In his autobiography, Spare, Harry says he was desperate to keep his security and begged his family, including the late Queen, to continue armed police protection. He says he told them, "Look, please, Meg and I don't care about perks. We care about working, serving, and staying alive." Bit of plagiarism from the Bee Gees there. Harry says he was facing total abandonment. Now, we all know that much of Spare was influenced, nay, written by this one's wife, and this will be another instance of the hypocrisy of this one's wife bleeding into its pages. We don't care about the perks, an obvious load of nonsense, because she clearly does, their residual benefits. And the suggestion that they were being cut off is at odds with the actual documentation which shows that that didn't happen. In a statement read out in court, Harry wrote, "It was with great sadness to both of us that my wife and I felt forced to step back from this role and leave the country in 2020. Nobody forced them. However, the fact that people would not do what this one's wife wanted, because of her rampant sense of entitlement, meant that her need for control was repeatedly threatened. She was not able to influence them directly or indirectly, and therefore her narcissism went to the third assertion of control, which is withdrawal. By removing herself from the source of the problem, she then gains this subconscious sense of control over the perpetrators. Nevertheless, her narcissism must tell her that she's the victim, that they felt forced to step back. And of course, she will have repeatedly banged on about this as she controlled Harry, so that he becomes infected with the same narrative." Harry went on to state, "The UK is my home. The UK is central to the heritage of my children and a place I want them to feel at home as much as where they live at the moment in the United States. That cannot happen if there is no possibility to keep them safe when they are on UK soil. I can't put my wife in danger like that, and given my experiences in life, I'm reluctant to unnecessarily put myself in harm's way too." Well, as I pointed out before, you should have kept your mouth shut about removing members of the Taliban as if they were pieces on a chessboard, but there we are. Once again, evidence has come forward which contradicts the Sussexes. Their stance shows the maintenance of a victim mentality by this one's wife, commensurate with her narcissism, and the way that she has caused this to occur also in Ginger Bollocks, by repeatedly suggesting to him, "We're the victim, we're the victim, we're the victims." He therefore takes up that mantra also. Hear it often enough, and someone who can't really think for himself, like Harry, a combination of the way that he's been brought up and the fact that he's not very bright, means that he's hugely susceptible to such suggestion as that provided by his wife. Accordingly, she has that victim mentality, and it's shown once again in this suggestion of "we were cut off," and then along comes the actual evidence that demonstrates that, once again, something that has come from the House of Sussex is a load of rubbish and nonsense. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.